there, it's been a while since we've seen you. Anyway, today I'm going to be making a decadent seafood pie. It is actually pretty simple to make, but it is fabulous, and it's like one of those special occasion meals if you need a special occasion meal, or you can just eat it for fun because it's going to be great. Anyway, so what we have going here is we're going to have 8 ounces of shrimp that have been deveined and deshelled, and the tails are taken off too. We have 8 ounces of scallops, and these scallops are in pieces. And then we have 2 small lobster tails that have been shelled, and it's just the meat alone, and it's 6 ounces total. And I have split the lobster tails down the center and then cut them across into bite-sized pieces. So how this all happened is that I was cruising through Safeway a couple days ago, and they had shrimp, lobster, and scallop pieces on sale, and I thought, oh, okay, this is the perfect opportunity to make a seafood pie. So I picked those up and brought them home, and here we go. So we have the shrimp, the scallops, the lobster. We have half of a medium shallot that's diced up fine. We have 1 medium garlic clove sliced fine, about 1/4 cup of cilantro, 1/3 cup of red pepper that's diced up fine, and then the zest of 1 lemon. And then we have about 1 tablespoon of butter here. So I'm going to go ahead and melt the butter in the pan, and also to make the sauce we're going to be using 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. If you have access to 40% butterfat whipping cream, do that, because it's much better than just the regular old 36% heavy whipping cream. 40% makes a huge difference. Anyway, so we're starting out with the butter. We're going to sizzle that off a little bit. I am sizzling up the butter right now. I'm going to turn it up to about medium. Let that melt a little bit, get warmed up. And then I'm going to add the garlic. And then I'm going to add this shallot. And you can see that it's diced up really fine. Smells good. And as you can see, the red pepper is diced up pretty fine too. And this was a really nice sweet red pepper. And as far as the seafood ingredients go, you could use pretty much halibut or salmon, any kind of seafood pretty much for this. Crab legs would be nice too. But this was just the opportunity of lobster, shrimp, and scallops. And I'm going to add the lemon zest. And it's a lot of lemon zest, but it's going to really come out and sing in the sauce. And this is considered a reduced cream sauce. It's really a lovely, lovely thing to behold. Okay, and now we're going to add the cream. And this is the 36% fat whipping cream. It's not the 40%, so you can see that it's really pretty liquidy. The 40% is really heavy and beautiful. So we're going to take this up to a boil and then just let it simmer and reduce down. I'm going to add a good pinch of salt to this. Doesn't take a lot, just a good pinch. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. And that is because we're going to top our seafood pie with a square of puff pastry. take too long for the cream to reduce, but you don't want to step away from it. If you do, it's going to boil over all over your stove. And just adjust the temperature until you get a really good simmer all the way across the top like this. That the cream is beginning to change now. One of the things is if you take it down too far, you can always resurrect it by adding a little more cream and then just heating it up some more. I'm going to check for consistency here now to see how it looks, and it's still a little thin. We want it to be a little more coating than that on the spoon. Cream sauces are kind of a fun thing to make, and you can use a lot of different things in them. One of my favorite ones is a pink peppercorn cream sauce, and you use pink peppercorns and clam juice in the recipe along with a little bit of shallot and garlic. And that really is a lovely sauce to use with seafood as well. It's also good with chicken and pork, but seafood, it really sings with seafood. Okay, now you can see that it's a little thicker, and this is about right for putting into the ramekins for the pie. So anyway, we're cooking it for about 20 minutes now, but this is all, you know, subjective to how your cream is reducing the temperature of your stove and everything. So you just need to keep an eye on it and just make sure that it reduces down enough so that it's thickened up and it'll have a nice coating ability and it's not too watery. You want it to be thick enough but not too thick, because once you go too far it can split, which of course if you add more cream to it and cook it a little bit longer, it will come back together again. And I did stir it continuously. Okay. Alright, so now I'm going to stir in the cilantro into the reduced cream mixture. And then we're going to put our seafood into the ramekins. And so one lobster is going to go in one. And the lobster will go in the other one. The shrimp up. Look at that, perfectly even. Scallops next. What I'm doing right now is I'm making sure that the sauce gets down to the bottom of the ramekin with the lobster down on the bottom. Have a nice little air vent in the top of our puff pastry. So I'm going to make an X mark in the top of the puff pastry so that the steam can escape. And this puff pastry, we get it at, I think it's called Chef's Store now. It used to be cash and carry forever and ever. That's what we still call it, of course. But you can buy this by the box there, and then what we do is we vacuum pack them. We break them up into packages of 6 and vacuum pack them, because it is a big box, but it definitely keeps for a long time in the freezer, and you get it in the freezer case at cash and carry too. But you can also use, you know, puff pastry just from the regular grocery store, like Pepperidge Farm or something like that. Or make your own if you're up to that. But this just makes it so simple and quick that it's just the easy way to do it. So now I'm going to brush the puff pastry with some egg wash, which is just an egg with a little bit of water in it that's been mixed up. Anyway, you can just set the puff pastry on top. It'll seal down on its own. You don't need to press it down onto the ramekin really at all. It'll just go ahead and mold itself to it like that. Anyway, I'm going to put these on a baking sheet and then put them in the oven at 400 degrees until they're bubbling really good. And basically what you're doing is, by the time the puff pastry is cooked up properly, the seafood inside will be cooked as well. Alrighty, these are going in the oven. So the Decadent Seafood Pie has been in the oven for 20 minutes, and this is what it looks like now. And I am going to carefully cut it open. It's really looking quite good.